Long, Houston, Texas, writes in, love the show. Wife and I, both 58. We have been listening to the podcast for a while now. Enjoy it thoroughly. I drive a 2006 Lexus. Hand me up. Family purchase from my little brother. Got it 3 years ago for about half the price. Wow, that's pretty good. Sorry, I don't drink, but if I do, I'd go with Coors Light. We would find a corner to curl up in a fetal position and Z if I won't fall asleep.
I guess so.
Coors Light doesn't make you fall asleep, but
it does if you're not a drinker.
It would take quite a few.
No, just get you fired up. Spitballing. All right. I do believe that we are on course to retire in 2030 at 65. What do you both think? Here are the numbers. Annual contributions to 403B Roth, $27,000 until 65. Currently, we are barely in the 24% tax bracket. Both IRAs, 401ks equal $1.5 million. The goal is to be converting to Roth at the top of the 24% tax bracket until the year 2030. So what that's the next 8 years of about $110,000 paying tax on cash that will be saved every year. Current Roth IRA is $125,000, HSA is $30,000. Mortgage will be done in 4 years. Last son graduating from college next year. Woohoo! Outside of that, all 3 sons' college were paid by the 529 plan we've saved since they were born. Major debts left. 3 weddings, hopefully before I retire in 8 years. At retirement, 65. So they've done some projections here. Estimated expenses is going to be $130,000 per year. IRA 401k 403b balance will be $1.8 million at an average return of 4%. Roth includes the converted amount will be $1.5 million average 4% return. HSA $40,000. His Social Security, there's a windfall elimination provision in there. At FRA is going to be $2,500 a month. Hers is going to be about $3,000 a month. His pension is $58,000. Her pension is $800. We will have $200,000 of liquid assets for 2 years of emergency funds in the process of building this before age 65. Okay. So let me do a little bit of math here. So we get $5,800 a month times 12.
Yep.
So that is going to be, call it $70,000
plus another $10,000 for her.
Okay.
Pension.
10,000. So that's $80K.
And we got about, call it $35,000 for Social Security for her.
Okay.
Maybe 40.
Ready?
Oh, wait a minute. She may be taking it 70. I'm not really sure.
We'll be taking his Social Security FRA is 2550.
Okay.
12 times. So that's 30,000.
Okay.
So now they're at 110,000. And then whatever hers is going to be another 25,000. So, I mean, the fixed income, it looks to me, it's going to cover 100% or very close to.
Right.
There's going to be probably some step or some bridges here.
Yeah, depending upon when they actually take Social Security. But yeah, that's right. I mean, that's what the first thing we look at is what's the spending need versus the fixed income. And usually there's a shortfall. In this case, there might be a shortfall for a little while, but maybe not necessarily forever.
Because they're retiring at 65. So maybe they take Social Security at 67. They maybe push it out to age 70.
Right.
The pensions are going to kick in at 60 for her and 65. So there's going to be some fixed income when they retire. So there'll be a step gap of a short distribution and then probably cover it all. So as I finish the email here, it says, so from my vantage point, we will need about 1.9% withdrawals from the savings first 2 years until my Social Security kicks in which are SWR. Sustainable withdrawal rate.
That's a good guess. Never seen those initials together.
Man, we're getting deep. Will go down a little more than 0.6% at 70. When her Social Security kicks in, we'll have the needed fixed income And we will need to withdraw only to accommodate inflation and emergency. I would love to retire early, but my pension won't be fully realized until 65, and thus I need to continue with these silver handcuffs. Okay. In the words of my old oil and gas days, are we digging up the right rocks? All right, that's kind of
Okay.
cool.
Yep.
Also, if we can continue to save after-tax money, I do believe that it will be to our benefit to continue to convert to Roth from 65 to 71, right? No matter which way I project a future tax, it comes out to be about 22 to 24% if the current brackets hold true. Thus, it behooves us to continue to convert to Roth IRAs as much as we can afford to pay the tax with after-tax dollars. Thank you for your spitball. Keep up the great show. By the way, Joe, 3 weeks ago, my dad sent his hearing aids in for repair. He's not heard anything since.
There you
But
go.
Yeah.
Where is that drum beat?
Yeah, he's a former recovering scoutmaster. He's got a lot more where those came from.
Okay.
dad jokes. We gotta love them.
All right, well, that's
Okay.
there's a lot to chew on here. Can I retire early? I guess is the main question, right?
Yeah.
The answer is yes.
Yes, of course. But I don't know what the changes is going to be on the pension, but you're based upon what you just told us, at 65, you can retire with a lot more money than you ever need. So can you retire early? Yes. But we'd have to see, like in other words, if your pension is only 5% lower for retiring a couple years earlier, go for it. You got plenty. That's what you save for.
Yeah. So if he retires at 60, let's say, instead of 65, just get the calculation from your company to
Yeah.
see what that pension is going to look like. It's not going to be your 70,000. It might be 60,000.
Yeah. And if it still works and you want to retire, go for it. If you want to keep working, by all means, do it.
So here's the math again, folks, just so you can do this at home. Is that all right? First thing you're doing is right on, right? What are you spending? You're spending $100,000 a year, 4% inflation, whatever. So at age 65, it's 130. Maybe at age 60, it's 115. Right. And then you look at, well, what are your fixed income sources? Maybe you still don't take your pension until 65 and you retire at 60. You're going to have a step period, right, where you're going to have a higher distribution rate from the overall portfolio from 60 to 65 until the pension kicks in.
Right.
I think you can still do this.
I do
You've done
too.
a really good job of saving, and then you have plenty of fixed income. It's just running the math.
Right. And what some people do is maybe at 60, 61, whatever, they work part-time, they bridge the gap that way. But I think there's enough assets here, Joe. They don't really even have to do that. But anyway, that is right. You just have to run the numbers. I'm a big believer in retiring when you want to, if you can afford it, because we don't necessarily live forever.
Right. And I think that they've done a really good job. They're planning appropriately. Doesn't seem like there's a ton of debt. I don't know. The weddings, those aren't going to, break the
and
bank.
Traditionally, the weddings are paid for by the wife's parents, and he's got 3 sons.
Yeah, that worked out well for me.
Yeah, right. Same with me too.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. Yeah. No, I think he's on track. You're on track. But they're not golden handcuffs. Retire when you want to, but just to run the numbers. So. It's close. I mean, if we're just kind of back of the envelope here,
Sure.
Again, you're looking at what your spending need is. You don't want to take out any more than probably 3% of the portfolio. You got a couple $1,000,000. You're saving a ton of money. So continue to save for the next couple of years. Use your same projections and see what that looks like at age 60, then 62, then 64, whatever.
Here's another quick idea, which is a lot of people, they just don't want to leave dollars on the table. So I want to work till 65 because I want to get every dollar. And I get that. Is there a way in your current job to maybe work 4 days a week instead of 5? Or in other words, work a little bit less, but still keep your benefits coming. So then, at 65, you get your full benefit. In the meantime, you kind of practice retiring a little bit and see how you like it.
Yeah, great point. Great point.
Are you prepared for retirement? Schedule a free financial assessment with an experienced financial professional right online at purefinancial.com.